listening to Living at the Highest Level with LATHL.
This is Living at the Highest Level with LATHL, and today I have the Stronghold crew with me. I have CEO Andrew Al, I have CMO Farshad Kivi, and we're missing Fahid Rad, who is the COO today. Where is Farad?
Fahid Rad. He's actually, I think he said he's shopping today. he's going to Vegas for something.
For his sister's wedding, so he's preparing for that right now.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, but you got us here, man. And
okay, we got the team. We got the team.
Great to see you, Dat, after a while.
Yeah, things been kicking. I mean, you guys listened to the last episode with Julian.
Of course, man. Of course.
Yeah.
We love Jules.
Jules is awesome. Yeah, we were present for the last one, Social Man Project with Mike McPinlack.
Yeah, so this is your guys' second round at Living on the Highest Level. So, guys, what is going on with Stronghold? How's the progress been with the company? And for all the listeners that don't know what you guys are doing, let's share your guys' stories. Let's share the idea behind Stronghold, the messaging behind it. Mm-hmm. And this is your time to really share the vision. So, guys, what is Stronghold and how do people become a part of it?
Yeah, so what we truly believe in is that Stronghold is a state of mind, right? So if you have a fortified mindset, and if you're able to take inventory of who you are and understand who you are, right, and allow your reach to exceed your grasp, that is what Stronghold is, right? It's not an apparel, it's not a brand itself, but it's a state of mind, and we truly believe that, right? What Stronghold is, it's a vision to empower generations, right? What we're committed to is eliminating emotional and internal suffering. Because 87% of most people's self-talk is what? Negative, right? So what we want to do is we want to show people how to live life happily, right? Using one of the most powerful vehicles in life, which is fitness, because you see tangible results as you progress.
And your mind, not just fitness. But before we get into all of that, Drew, I think we should say where it all started.
Yeah, let's talk about the background. So, I mean, this company's been around since January 2015. Did both of you guys have any prior business experience, and how has the entrepreneurial journey been from the first idea to where it is today? Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So myself, no, I've never had my own business. Andrew has had experience in that. I've always wanted to do something on my own. We've all had heart-to-heart conversations when we used to live in Alberta about what we want to do, the goals that we have, and definitely one of them was to be your own boss and do your own thing and make a difference that way.
I think just the passion behind what drives you in life.
Exactly.
That's a huge factor. And I think that a lot of people really get scared of this idea of being their own creator, of where their income is coming from, what direction their life is going to take place. But what I see from you guys is you guys are creating this new messaging behind self-empowerment through the Stronghold mindset.
Yeah, definitely.
So at what point in the timeline of Stronghold, Andrew and Farshad, did this idea really take place? And what happened on that particular day that you said, hey, I'm going to start this brand, I'm going to start this company, and I'm not going to care what anyone else says or does. I'm just going to follow my gut and explain that whole journey to where we are today.
Well, that all started back in Bonnieville. So as Farshad mentioned, I have my own business right now. I have an automotive accessory shop located in Pitt Meadows, BC, and I've been in that industry for a long time. And what happened was I loved it at first, right? And then I felt as if I was no longer growing. Right. And I've always known about the personal development world. And I've always wondered how to get into it. And actually you, Dat, Tony, Chris, Corey, presented an offer to work for a company called LATHL. Right. And at first I rejected the idea. Mm-hmm. And then when I heard what you guys were doing and what kind of impact and change it has made in some of my close friends, especially Tony Bui, I decided to jump on board. And from there, Farshad Kivi jumped on board as well because he saw the opportunity and he was very excited about it. So we both jumped on board, and you took us out to Bonnyville. You did. LATHL himself.
And for those of you that don't know where Bonnyville is, it's northern Alberta. And we were there in the summer. We were fortunate enough to be there when it was relatively hot in end of July, August. And it was a great experience.
It was a wonderful experience, yeah. And
Population 3,000.
Population 3,000.
And we knocked on every single door.
But we had the best time as a team, right? We created this bond, we created this camaraderie, and we cultivated this atmosphere of wanting more for ourselves, constantly progressing to be better every day, right?
You guys touched on a really important point earlier. When you talked about self-development and self-improvement, I think that there's a huge negative stigma associated with that when someone says they're working on themselves.
Yeah.
Like they actually have some issues or there's something wrong with them. But there is nothing wrong with wanting to improve who you are, your communication abilities, the way you treat others. And I think that everyone can use a little bit more self-improvement as we progress with all these things happening in the media, just people in general, what's happening in Hollywood. Who really cares all about that? The key thing as a person is your own personal progression, be it your career, be it the person you're wanting to be, or just finding what your passion is. I think that the more aware and the more involved that you are and open, I think openness is a key component to self-development and self-improvement.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It just brings you to that place you want to get faster.
Yeah.
And I think that that really gets you guys to a place, especially in Bonnyville, where there is no distractions. There is just an opportunity, and you really turn the opportunity into the result of whatever you want it to be. A lot of people, they go into a job environment or they go into some type of circumstances in their life where they can look at it as an opportunity or an obligation. Right? If you're in a relationship with someone, it could be an obligation or an opportunity. Where that goes is completely dictated by your actions and your beliefs. So I think that what you guys are doing in terms of sharing the messaging behind personal improvement through physical transformation is so valuable, and it's very inspiring.
Yeah.
So please continue your story.
Definitely. To touch base on that, yeah. That is true, and the reason why we capitalized on our experience out in Bonnyville, I would have to say, is due to the amazing leadership that you had.
Absolutely, man.
Right? You created such a strong team, right, where we bonded together and we wanted to excel in every aspect. We had a regiment going, guys. If you don't know this, we woke up at like 6 a.m. in the morning, jumped out of bed, went to the gym right away.
What's that gym called?
Centennial Rec. It was a beautiful gym. Beautiful gym. And we would play ball right after, Yeah. We would play ball right after, and then we would go back to our hotel. We would all cook breakfast as a team, right, in our own hotel room, but we were paired up in twos. And then right after that, we would come together and have a morning meeting. And that's where we started to indulge in personal development, right?
As crazy as it sounds, living in a hotel for over a month was actually awesome with the guys that we had around us. We met some great people. Dat was the one leading the team, leading the charge. But I mean, we all made significant improvements.
Yeah.
Right? We all made improvements physically, and we did things we weren't used to, like journaling and goal setting.
Yeah.
And dude, I have to credit most of the things that have been done in the past year to you and Ledcore and Corey and Matt and all those guys. Because without them, we'd probably still be doing what we're doing. I was working in Future Shop before this. That's when I messaged Andrew. I'm like, dude, I'm done with sales. I don't want to do this anymore. Do you have an opportunity? I feel like I want to get out of here. He's like, yeah, man, I'm actually going in for an interview at Ledcore.
You bring in such a key point there. There's so many people in life that just expect opportunity to actually knock on their door and get them out of their bedroom or get them out of their kitchen. You have to go look for those opportunities in life. And it's funny because a lot of people think it's all luck, but the more activity you do, the more luck you get. It's just the way it works. It's a numbers game.
That's how we've been rolling, man, for the past year. Everything that seems right, it seems like the universe has been delivering it to us.
So I recall you guys touching on journaling, and it is such a powerful tool that people don't utilize in this day and age because of all the technology and all the just the things that take away their attention.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people are so used to being on their phones. And I know Corey Leaf always touched base on this, and he would always be like, yeah, when you're using your fingers to type on your phone, you're only using 2 different triggers within inside your brain, right? Therefore, you're not utilizing your cognitive functions. Therefore, if you are writing, right, you're using 10,000 points, right? You're firing off 10,000 different dendrites within inside your brain. So it's a lot more productive to write. And it benefits you in so many different ways. Because once you use a blue pen and you put that to paper, I actually realize I'm able to memorize it.
That's so true.
I am able to memorize it, right? So definitely writing is key. Journaling is key. And I have to give it to Dat because he's the man who gave us our very first journal.
Holla.
And that's where Stronghold all started.
Tony Bowie just stepped in the building.
So Tony just walked in. Tony Bowie, also part of LEDCore. My brother who brought us in. So it was great. But to touch base on journaling, once again, that's where it all started for us. And that's where Stronghold all started, right? Because the key that a lot of people overlook is themselves. If you ask somebody, who are you in the deepest sense, most people will not be able to answer it. They'll give you a vague description of themselves. You know, I'm funny, I'm outgoing. No, who are you in the deepest sense? What are your core values? What are your beliefs? What are your characteristics? You know, what value can you offer to the masses? Most people cannot answer that. So once you're able to take inventory of yourself through a journal, once you're able to write down who you are, you know, what things can you dispose of that are holding you back from your chief aim, from your vision in life? What things are holding you back? Who is holding you back, right? Because like you talked about earlier, you know, about social media, you know, even the news itself. If you actually look at social media, you look at news, a lot of it is so negative, a lot of it, right? And that in itself, right, creates our state of mind, right, to a negative state. So what can you get rid of in order to create a very optimistic state of mind, to see opportunities in this world, right? And that's how it happened. Once I started to realize who I was, you know, once I started to see the adversity that I faced, and once I started to see the value that I could offer and the passion that I had, I put 2 and 2 together, right? And the most powerful part about this was when I started to indulge in personal development, when I started to change my state of mind, once I started to realize the tools that I acquired through fitness unconsciously, right? And once I was able to be aware of these tools, I was able to apply it. And this is how we empower people, right? Because when you face these physical challenges through fitness, the most powerful part is your state of mind and breaking through those limiting beliefs and shifting your paradigm to understand who you are and what your true potential is, right? One thing we live by is we allow our reach to exceed our grasp, right? And if you don't understand who you are, right, and you don't believe in yourself, how can you do that? Right? That's why Stronghold is such a powerful movement or such a powerful lifestyle, because we embody both. We understand that both is important, not just one or the other, right? Most people say, you know, if you look good, you feel good. Therefore, what they're saying is that they allow their bodies to dictate the mind. But the truth is, it's the mind that dictates the body.
Boom.
That's powerful stuff, guys. And just so everyone knows, what is the vision of Stronghold in the big grass scheme of things? So for you guys, it's to have your own facility and just recreate the new standards, how gyms should be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah. If you walk into a lot of commercial gyms right now, right? If you walk into a lot of commercial gyms, you'll start to see the lack of passion, right? The lack of passion that most employees or even trainers there have, right? To be a part of the team of Stronghold, right? To actually lead this lifestyle, there's one requirement, and that's excellence. Excellence in all aspects of your life, right? And that's what we require. Like when you walk into a gym right now, the front desk person doesn't even really say hi to you. They'll just nod at you, and then you scan in, you walk in, None of the personal trainers will say hi to you. None of the employees will say hi to you. It's like you're a stranger, right? This is a place where you're able to develop yourself and turn yourself into the best you that you can do. Mm-hmm. But how can you do that when the environment isn't supportive, right? So that's why we want to redefine the fitness industry for what it is right now.
So for you guys, you want to create an ecosystem for personal success.
Exactly.
So not only the physical body, the mind, the spirit, and there's going to be times where, you know, we're all human. We don't have the mood to do certain things on a given day. Mm-hmm. But what the difference is the community involvement and the awareness from one person to the other, that they are a part of a family of fitness, not just some type of big chain.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And same thing with what you were just talking about. Like, you need a family around you. You need a team, and that's the mindset that we were into when we were in Alberta. We weren't doing anything on our own. Everything was done as a team together, and that's the exact same mentality we brought to Stronghold.
Yeah.
So as soon as we started this thing, we looked for a group of people that would support our vision and help us create what we wanted to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
How big is the Stronghold team at this point? Like since January 1st, 2015, up until this point, so roughly 8 months. Mm-hmm. How has the company grown? How has the movement spread within the community? And what exciting things have you guys seen as a result of just the passion and just the excitement behind this brand?
We are currently at a team of 10 strong team members.
Possibly 11.
Possibly 11, right? And every single one of these person has 3 basic requirements. Number 1, a passion for fitness. Number 2, a passion for their own life and their own development. And number 3, a passion to help people. Most of our team members within Stronghold have a story behind their fitness journey, right? Because a lot of us have faced adversity, and using fitness as the vehicle, like I said before, to really help build their beliefs within themselves, help build their characteristics within themselves. Because we want to form a community of leaders in our team, right? The same kind of culture that LATHL had, right? We want to develop leaders, not followers, right? Because the idea of team, like Farshad said, is to surround yourself with the best, to surround yourself with leaders. Because if they are strong leaders within themselves and they're able to lead their own lives, imagine how much further they can lead the vision of Stronghold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they're just as invested in what you're doing as you are, there's sky's the limit, pretty much.
Exactly, right? So that's the kind of team we have, right? And so far, what we've seen and what everybody in the industry has seen is that we have excellence and we perform with excellence.
So for your business operations, you guys are doing apparel and events, media, covering other pro shows like bodybuilding shows, fitness shows, and then the big bang at the end is going to be the gym. Mm-hmm. And what are we looking at? A 5-year time span, or when do you guys want to get that done? How can we support that vision?
So let's start off with the apparel line. So we got Farshad Kivi, our apparel designer over here.
Well, when we started Stronghold, to be honest with you, Dad, we didn't know what we're going to get into. We knew we wanted to build a brand, and we had a story, and we wanted to make personal development a huge thing within the fitness industry. So we were going to have an apparel line, and I came on as a designer, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Since my birthday okay, let me go back, actually, to August 17th of last year, because today's my birthday, and last year when we were in Calgary, I remember that on the 18th we were at the Elbow River in Calgary.
Yeah.
Me, Andrew, Julian, Sean Buck, and Brendan. And me and Andrew were actually on a double float. And the Elbow River, Tony, have you been there? Oh my God, it's beautiful, because you get on a tube and you go river rafting, and it just takes you through the city of Calgary. And I'd say that's where Stronghold, the whole idea, germinated from that doubles float, because we were both deep into personal development at this point, and we knew that we wanted to make a difference and somehow do our own thing. And I'd say that's where it really started. And then Andrew took his own way with it, and now this is where we're at with it. But when we first started, it was apparel. I came on as a designer, and we got into media. We started doing segments with athletes, trying to inspire people that way before our apparel came out. So we called them ambassador segments.
Yeah. These segments reflect on the number one rule of success, right? Is who do you listen to? Mm-hmm. Right? You want to listen to somebody who's been where you are and who has what you want. Mm-hmm. That's why we created these segments, right? That's how we started to create the brand of Stronghold, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people face the same adversities that a lot of our athletes or ambassadors have faced. Yet they don't have the same belief within themselves. They stay in this rut, right? And they're afraid to step out, right? So therefore, these ambassador segments are to inspire and instill belief that they can come out of this adversity, that they can achieve success themselves. Mm-hmm. That's why these segments are so powerful, and that's why these segments are the root of who we are.
All right, you can check out those segments are at iamstronghold.com. Farshad, you touched on a really key point earlier, that sometimes, guys that are listening, you're not going to know everything. You're going to have an idea, and if you overanalyze it, it's going to lead to no action. Mm-hmm. There's a saying that overanalysis leads to paralysis. Mm-hmm. So that means that if you think too much and you try to create a perfect plan, mm-hmm. but you don't execute on anything, it's never going to move forward. Sometimes having an imperfect plan, but executing it and refining it as you go, it's a much better approach. Because how can you know what works and what doesn't work unless you take some form of action?
Yeah. That's it, man. Absolutely. You just hit it bang on. There was a book called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and he talks about, and it's for people that want to get out and do their own thing and have unique ideas, and talks about the power of resistance, how there is always a force that's going to try to stop you from what you're doing, from trying to achieve what you want to do and greatness in that sense. And that force is always going to be there, and he calls it resistance. And I've felt it many times, right? When we were selling in Alberta, some days where you don't want to do what you want to do, or if you have your own unique idea that you want to put out into the world, and some speed bumps come along the way and they just stop you from doing what you have to do, but you have to push through it. You have to find inspiration. This is why we do what we do as well, right? So we invest our time to make these segments for people that need motivation and are thinking about doing something else rather than living in conformity.
It's so important for anyone that's listening to understand and to know that it's okay to struggle and it's okay to be challenged. There's so many people out there that want to feel they don't want to feel uncomfortable, mm-hmm. right? But you have to face the fact that to grow and to do anything great, you're going to be faced with a lot of adversity and a lot of challenges. And the faster you overcome that, the faster you're going to get to where you want to be in terms of success.
That's it.
Definitely. Can I just say that one favorite line that Dat and I used to say to each other was, the beauty is in the struggle, right? And that's the truth, mm-hmm. right? Some people are like, oh, man, I want to be stronger. I want to be smarter. I want to be wiser. You think life is just going to give you those characteristics? You think life is just going to make you smarter? It's going to make you wiser? You have to go out there, and you have to read to be wiser. You have to surround yourself with people who are smart. You have to feel like a small fish in a big pond, right? I thrive off of that. When I feel like a big fish in a small pond, I jump into another pond where I'm a small fish in a big-ass fucking ocean, right?
It's the only way you're going to understand what you don't know.
Exactly.
When you're surrounded in the same environment, the same group of friends, you don't understand what elements in your characteristics and in your skill set that you're actually missing.
Yeah.
Until you go to another place or another, whatever it could be, company, another school, a different relationship even, right? Different people that surround your network. Mm-hmm. If you want to be a place in your life that you're currently not, you have to just move out of that spot. Right? And it's going to be a decision that everyone is faced with. And at that point, if you want to grow, you have to break that habit of being comfortable.
You have to have some balls, essentially.
Exactly. And that's why this all started, right? We were tired of being comfortable. Right? We were tired of being comfortable. I was tired of being comfortable at my shop. Like I made an amazing amount of income through my shop before I went to LATHL. But I was tired of being comfortable. I felt like I wasn't being challenged. You know, the truth is your mind, right? If you're not nourishing it, if you're not growing, you're dying. Right? There's no such thing. Like think of your mind as a plant, right? Best analogy. Right? As that plant is growing, it is thriving. Once it stops growing, it is dying. Same concept, right? And same with Farshad. When he felt like he was comfortable at Future Shop, he was dying. He wanted to move on, right? That's why we both went to LATHL, and that's where we started to thrive. And then from LATHL, at that point, once we got to a certain level, once we understood who we were and what we wanted to do in life, that's when we moved on as well, right? And that's how Stronghold started, right? That's how Stronghold started right there.
And you guys have been involved in a lot of community events and just promoting this brand. What are some of the most recent events you guys been to?
Well, since March, we found out that we were going to be a part of the Pro-Am, which was like the biggest bodybuilding show coming to Vancouver.
Yeah.
So that was always in our calendar, and we were looking forward to that, and that just happened July 25th and 26th weekend. It was awesome. It was phenomenal. We had a lot of success at our booth, and we've been working with Michelle Crack on that one. We're actually working with Popeyes.
Oh, amazing.
They're holding their own bodybuilding show called the Popeyes Fall Classic in November, and we're working directly with them with their marketing team and helping them promote the event. We'll be there as well. So we're making a lot of connections in the fitness industry. There's a lot of projects that we're working on, a lot of filming segments as well to put out there. So,
and for the listeners, where can they go purchase your guys' apparel?
www.iamstronghold.com, and you'll be able to see our entire line on our website. It's available there for purchase.
And one thing that I'm actually really proud of, Dat, is this whole journaling and goal entry thing that we were talking about. Last year on my birthday, I actually made a list of what I wanted to do and accomplish. I knew I wanted to be a designer. I knew I wanted to make my own clothes, make a unique style. And I got to do that with Stronghold. But another goal on that list was to have my clothes in a retail store within that year. And yesterday, we were actually able to achieve that goal. We have our full lineup at Hangry Health Bar in Surrey.
Okay, and yeah, so Hangry is in Surrey, BC?
Right across Guildford Mall, yeah.
Yeah, right off of 152 on 102nd Avenue, right? Go check them out. They have a Red Seal chef behind them, and their concept is from farm to table.
So just going back to exactly what this podcast is all about. So the purpose of this podcast is to inspire people, to get them off their asses, to get them out of whatever circumstances they're in, and for them to get inspired and go out and create their own reality. So you guys are just a prime example of just that. Putting ink to paper and then turning what's on that page into an actual reality.
Yeah.
So isn't that powerful that you guys just had a thought, one single thought about starting a brand named Stronghold, being part of some type of apparel, being a creative, writing that down, seeing it after day by day.
Yeah.
And then 1 year down the road, it came to fruition.
It's a crazy feeling, man.
So if anyone that's listening that has never journaled, go out there and buy yourself a journal. Don't use an iPad. Don't use any apps. It's just you, a pen, and your paper. And you're building that catalog of life right there when you're putting your thoughts and you're documenting it for yourself. Because our mind and our memory, it goes away. And
Yeah.
over time, as you age, it just gets worse and worse. But when you go back and you read those words that are on that piece of paper, it triggers all those emotions. It triggers the memories. It triggers the whole experience, and it realigns you with exactly what the vision is.
That's so key, having a clear vision. Like for me, that's what it was. Like I had a picture in my head of what my shirts would look like in a clothing store. But you also have to factor in what you have to write to get rid of, like the negative self-talk and stuff. So like Andrew was talking about, there's things that hold you back. And for me, for example, alcohol was one of those things. And last year in September, I decided to cut that out of my life because there was no need for it. I'm trying to accomplish bigger things. I don't need to be drinking some sort of poison. So that's what I had set out to do. And it's been almost a year now where I haven't had a sip of alcohol. So it's not just writing down what you want to accomplish. It's also what you need to cut out of your life as well to help you get there.
I feel that there's so many people that want to do great things, but they're just so scared of getting out of that situation. Like the feeling of being comfortable, the feeling of, oh, I'm going to work my 9 to 5, and then on the weekend, I'm going to let loose. While you're letting loose, someone out there is working tremendously hard on their passions and their vision for their lives. And if you don't take action, you're going to be just working for their vision eventually.
Yeah, that's true. And for a lot of people who do personal development, Kevin Trudeau talks about training balance scale. Dat touched base on it before as well. A lot of people just focus on how. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to make this money in order to achieve or create this business idea that I have? When you focus on how and you keep journaling on how, what happens is you're actually negative goal setting. You're starting to create ways of not being able to accomplish what you want to do. Right? The strongest thing or the most powerful thing that we focus on is our why. Right? Why do we do what we do? Why Stronghold? Because our why for Stronghold is we want to give value to the masses. We want to inspire and awaken those who are sleeping. Right? We want to get rid of conformity. Right? Because most people conform to the wrong group of society. Right? If you ask most people why they get up in the morning, guarantee you 99.9% of them will be like, I don't know. I got to go to work. I got to pay the bills. How many of us actually jump out of bed saying, yes, I am excited to start my day because I'm going to do something of great value? That should be you. There is no reason why for any of our listeners not to do that. Take inventory of who you are, right? Once again, take inventory of who you are. Get rid of every negative self-talk that you have. Focus on the great things that you have. Think of the ideal self that you must become in order to attract the successes that you want in life, and become that person. Just become that person. Decide today that you want to step out of your comfort zone, right? Once you step out of your comfort zone and you're uncomfortable, that's where you will stretch your abilities, and that's where you will grow. And when you will grow, that's where you are at your best. And when you're at your best, that's when you are happiest.
Wow.
The magic happens outside your comfort zone. The universe will give you what you put in.
Exactly, man. We can talk about law of attraction into great detail, because I'm telling you right now, ever since we started Stronghold, that's how magic has been happening. I still remember the first time Farshad, myself, and Sheila, who is one of our female team members of Stronghold, sat down at Starbucks and started to draw out ideas of our apparel. We started to draw out ideas of leggings. And then once we had these custom ideas, we were like, oh, wow, we're gonna have to these girls for us. We had no idea. And
we didn't want to get it done anywhere but Canada. That was key for us.
Exactly.
We wanted to support local businesses, and we wanted to show everyone that we're a Canadian company. So that's how it all happened, and we met the right people to get the job done.
Exactly, we did, right? We had no idea on how we were going to do this, but we had absolute belief that it was going to happen. And I tell you, I kid you not, in less than an hour and a half, we found that person. Not even found that person. The universe attracted that person into our life. And they were able to do everything that we needed them to do.
So this apparel is custom tailored in Canada. I'm rocking a shirt right now. It's smooth. It's probably one of the smoothest shirts I ever bought. And the great thing about supporting local companies and just local talent is you're a part of something. You're not just part of a big machine that just spins around. You're a part of a creative process. You're part of organic growth.
Yeah.
And you're part of making a difference. Because every single person that joins the Stronghold Facebook page or becomes ingrained in this community, it's going to spark change in someone else's life down the road as well.
Yeah.
Right? So there is an apparent feedback and change that's happening. Mm-hmm. People are hearing this. They're giving feedback. They're talking. You're making a movement happen.
Hey, we want to hear from everyone too, man, like on what we're doing, the designs that we're putting out there. We actually got people involved when we were putting out our signature block style T-shirts, whether we wanted to go with a black type of block or a white one on a black shirt. And sure enough, the crowd voted, and we went with the style that we did.
Yeah. The community definitely got involved, right? Mm-hmm. And the great thing that you talked about is that we're getting great feedback from the fitness community, right? A lot of people are understanding what we're trying to do and the kind of inspiration and empowerment that we're trying to instill into people to see past the vanity of what fitness is and to look at the depth and beauty, right? The fitness community is behind us. And now what we're trying to do is just create the capital in order to support our true vision. And in our true vision is where we will be able to create permanent change in people's lives.
That is amazing. That's just simply amazing. And I feel that with your guys' whys and the reasoning behind everything, that gives you the energy to really work when you're just exhausted. That gives you the ability to work the 14 plus hours that it takes to create any business, right? People just assume that successful people, successful companies, they're either lucky or they're in the right place at the right time, or it's just they were in the best situations. But you need to understand that you create all of your situations in your life. Mm-hmm. How good it is up to you. How bad it is, right? It's what you look at it as.
You can stop the wheel from moving, man. Like I found myself working away till 4 a.m. editing videos and trying to release them for the day after. Right? So you have to put in the time. You have to invest that time.
Yeah. Find something you guys love to do, right? Don't think of selecting a career path or selecting an opportunity just based on monetary gain. There's things in life that money can never buy, and passion's one of them. And buying back time is never possible. So if you're just going out there and going to a job because it pays well, you're actually just not knowing that you're just wasting that time. That is one of the only resources that's not renewable.
Yeah.
Money comes and money goes, but wasted time adds to my woes.
Exactly.
You know
so
how
good,
that should
so
go.
good.
And that's just it. Before we wrap things up, guys, where can they find you? I know you're on Instagram, IamStronghold.com, and also IamStronghold.com. And for anyone that's listening, we got a promotion going on here. If you go to their website, IamStronghold.com, and you put in the coupon code LATHL, LATHL, which stands for Living at the Highest Level, you guys will receive 15% off on the best fitting apparel for fitness known to Vancouver and soon known all across Canada, and they're taking over North America, and it's going to end up in Europe. Guys, what's the last word before we let you go?
That's love, homie.
Just so you guys know, if you guys purchase our apparel, you're supporting the vision of Stronghold, right? So this is a great cause, guys. This is a powerful vision that will empower others and really change lives. So just know that you're doing that every time you purchase one of our apparels.
And if you have inspirational stories, we want to hear from you. We had a segment of a guy that was involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a year before he got his belt, he was involved in a big motorcycle accident. So we want to hear about stories like that, people that have changed their lives. So
yeah. And if you're someone that wants to be on the show, you can contact me at dat@lathl.com. Send me an email, Facebook me, Twitter me. Everything's under LATHL, LATHL. And that's it for this episode, guys. Big shout out to the Stronghold. And I can't wait to see all the amazing things you guys do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks again for tuning in to Living at the Highest Level. We'll see you next week.
Ah.